Well, good evening, everybody. Grace Simon here with the New Doors Mentorship and Coaching Group and Real Estate Group. It's day 15, and I am here talking about aligning thoughts with actions. And you may be saying, day 15? I thought day 15 was a few days ago. And this is why I wanted to do this study this year on my own with As a Man Thinketh, So Is He, because I knew that this was going to be a really good challenge for myself. And sometimes when we want to create exceptional growth and exceptional challenges, we need to start with ourselves. And so I knew that this book, As a Man Thinketh, even though I've done it a few times, I've done it in a mastermind, I've done it with others, I knew that I needed to stretch myself personally. And so I've really been taking this study personally in allowing myself to really think on a lot of things, of the way that I behave, the way that I think, the way I allow myself to think based on what other people are thinking of me. And I really wanted to challenge myself in this month of 21-day reset, of fasting, of prayer, of focus, intentionality, and reading this book, As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. And so I've taken a few extra days. I'm still on day 15, but I've taken a few days to release a message on it, or do some writing to a point of delivery. And this morning was really interesting. And today's topic is aligning thoughts with actions. On day 14, I spoke about speaking to the storm, taking authority, knowing your authority, and not being anxious for anything, but declaring over the storm, declaring and taking authority over the challenge, over the problem, over the situation, and having faith. And so today is about aligning your thoughts with action. And James 2:17 says, faith by itself, if it's not accompanied by action, it's dead. Faith without works is dead. And when we step into new challenges and habits, our brains resist because of something called cognitive dissonance. And what that is, it's the mental discomfort that happens when our existing beliefs and habits and identity conflict with new actions. Our subconscious, it's there to keep us safe, to remind us, to remind us of past behaviors, past hangups, past comforts. And a lot of those past comforts, past hangups that we've talked a lot about the past couple of weeks is, we usually hold on to the negative rather than the positive. And so our subconscious, our unconscious thinking doesn't know how to direct us. It just stores. It stores an emotion. It stores a past. It stores it. So all it knows how to do is to remind us and to respond to what our body is sensing, which our thoughts are sensing. Our nervous system delivers messages throughout our body. And so when we try something new, when we're growing ourselves and challenging ourselves, our past behavior, our past hangups, our past fears, our past anxiety likes to remind us, likes to tempt us to keep us safe, to keep us in that discomfort. Not that we really want to be there, but there's an odd sense of comfort to it, right? So at the neurological level, our brains, it really seeks that sense of stability, of trying to keep us safe. And so established habits and routine become ingrained through neural pathways, making them easy to follow. So as we create habits, as we create patterns, as we create these routines every day, we don't have to think about it. It just naturally happens. But when we want to add something that we're not used to, or they have to use a different side of the brain, we have to, consciously and intentionally move us forward. We have that resistance, right? We have that hold back that challenges, what we're doing, questions what we're doing. But here's something really interesting, actually, is that when we are introducing something new, that the old habits, the old routines, the old patterns, they get disrupted as well. So the last thing that we want to do is that when we are in a place of challenge, when we're in a place of growth, and this is why you're doing the 21-day reset. This is why you're following, through a study or a program or listening to me here and there, is because you want growth. You want to change something, right? Which you're not changing, you're choosing. And so you're gonna feel challenged. And so those things that were just natural and that you like weren't challenged at all of a sudden, if you take your foot off the pedal with them and you lose momentum, you're gonna end up in a slippery slope of losing everything. Now that may sound extreme, but I want to give you an example. I'm used to getting up at between 4:45 and 5 o'clock in the morning, and I have a very clear routine. But because I'm feeling challenged in some different areas that I'm growing myself in the areas of growth, I have a lot of mental, stretching. I have a lot of, calming the storms and speaking in faith and taking movement forward. There's a lot of that through the day that I'm constantly putting myself forward into holding accountability to myself in taking new steps, new disciplines, new order, keeping hold of and track of my calendar and staying true to what I say that I'm going to do and organizing my time. And so that takes a lot of mental, emotional capacity, right? There's a lot of grinding going on. So my morning routine, that is being tested. My alarm goes off this morning. I hit snooze. And a dialogue that I have not engaged or had any, issues with for a while is being questioned. It's cold outside. You could use some extra sleep. What does it matter if you get up and hold this out? And, I'm having these mental discussions. I'm having these mental, fights as I'm, lying in bed thinking, oh, do I need to get up? Do I really need to go up? And you have to push yourself forward and saying, no, I really do need to get up. Like, I need this win. This is something that I love to do. And I know by the end of that workout, I know by the end of my time in the morning in my devotions, that's where I really get my motivation. That's really where I get my energy to press on through the day. And if I give that up, Grace, if you give that up, you're not going to have the mental, emotional strength, agility, perseverance, power that you need throughout the day when you're really stretching and growing yourself. And so you want to be really careful. You want to be very cognitive, be very intentional with what's going on. That normal way of operating is now being triggered with resistance, procrastination, and self-sabotage because of that growth, what you are stepping into intentionally. So if our brain is associating with behaviors with comfort and predictability, any change threatens that reward system. So you're feeling very tempted to revert back to the old habits, the old things that you dealt with so long ago. They become really familiar again. So I want to encourage you. You're being challenged, and that's a really good thing. When you're feeling uncomfortable, you need to guard up. Make sure you get the good sleep. Make sure you are getting the nutrients, taking, the things that you know to do. So I got up and went to the gym, had my prayer time, had some devotional time. And then, because of the way that I've been challenged in my growth, I also understand that I need to really pump up my energy, really get my focus and my attention to a state, right? Into a state of possibility thinking. I was sharing with the group this morning. I do a realtor prayer group in the mornings, and whether you like, the new president of the United States or you don't, it's your choice, right? I always say everybody has free will choice. Some people don't like me saying that. They're saying, be careful saying things like that. I'm not going to be careful saying things like that, because when it comes to my faith and me believing in Jesus and being a Christian, no one forced me into that. It's because of the love that God has showed me through my failures, my letdowns, my disappointments, other people letting me down. It's through those things that I've seen the love of God. It's really through my faith being tested, not by anybody making commands or demands or anything on my life. Those things push me back. So I know who I am. I know the identity of who I am. I know who I worship, who I love, right? Because of God Himself showing Himself to me through other people, but not through people commanding and demanding and saying that I must believe in this. You know, it was God. God and His Word is life-giving. I have a tremendous story of my great grandfather who he was a theologian. He studied many different religions and languages. He spoke 12 different languages. Like, he studied at Cambridge University. He practiced yoga. He said that he was the least person that anybody would ever believe would come to be a Christian. Okay. And his father was a high-ranking general in the British Army. And so when my great grandfather had been called to war in World War II, he was put in the nursing ward. He didn't want to fight. He didn't want to carry a gun. And I just can't even imagine how his father must have felt that his son, wasn't interested in fighting. And so he got put into the nursing ward. And he said, he had studied so many different religions, but he hadn't taken time to study the Bible. He hadn't read much of it. And he thought, well, you know what? I'm here. This might be a good time to read this book. And he said he sat down at his bed one night and picked up the Bible, and he started to read it, and it came alive. He had studied so many other religions, this was what he did. He studied religion. Right? He was a theologian. And he said, people would never see me to come to Christ. But when he read the Word, it came alive to him. It became real to him. Nobody was persuading him, pushing, commanding, demanding. And so I am not going to deliver my messages of mindset growth, personal development. And so when I say, friends, that what you believe, what you choose to believe, you're going to find, you will find your way through it. I'm sharing authentically. And those that don't want to hear that message, I'm sharing authentically to what I know, what I believe, what I've found to be so true and so powerful. I had to discover that for myself. And I believe that if you have not made that decision, if you haven't gone that journey, but you have a desire, and we're all built with that desire to know who God is, not as a religion, but as personal, that you truly will find Him. And so my messages are an invitation. They are an invitation for you to believe. They are an invitation for you to be open-minded to seek that. And so I hope that my messages of faith, of perseverance, of personal development, sharing through my personal journey, but an invitation for you to come along, as you're willing, as you are willing, as you are seeking, and to question, discover for yourself. The world does mindset. They know mindset. But the people of God, the people of kingdom, that is mindset. And there's no differentiation of that. So I want to make that clear, because it's not people that have no faith that come at me. It's people that believe that they have faith, that they want to hang on to words that I say, that I just need to share that. I went to my mentors this morning with it because it was bugging me. Somebody had said, oh, this person didn't like what you had to say. And I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. That's their choice. But it bugs me because I'm a people pleaser. But I'm so I really do diligently seek the Lord. And I diligently seek the Lord to share who I am with other people. And so I went to some women that I'm being mentored by, and I shared this. And that's exactly what they said. Don't hold back, which I never do hold back. And it really is the Holy Spirit that speaks through my life and the things that I have experienced and how I seek God every day, and I pray and I read the word, but to come with an understanding, to share so that others may hear and others may learn and others may ask through their own awareness and their own willingness. So whatever your decision is in growth in 2025, by you stepping forward, whether it's in your spiritual development, in your physical development, in your financial freedom, in your career growth, whatever, relationships, whatever that may be, know that you're going to be challenged. You're going to be challenged to try something new, to speak something new, to believe for something new. And I think I went off on a tangent there. I said, whether you believe in Donald Trump or not, or like him or not, there's something really interesting to what he has said lately. And he says, I am demonstrating that all things are possible. That what people say are impossible, I make possible. And people laugh at that. But really, he is prophesying. He really is making a decree in today's world where people are getting so lost. They say, live your authentic life. But as soon as you do live your authentic life, or you speak something that people don't like, they want to press you down. They want to come against you. And really, that's something that he is demonstrating. And again, I'm not speaking one way or the other. You can choose what you want to believe about him or anything else. But that is something that I was like, get going. I really appreciate you saying that, he is demonstrating that the impossible are made possible. And he throws a lot of things out there that are like, okay, all right, we got to laugh about. And then you see them taking place, you see them happening. And that's because we need to step out in our faith, in your faith, what you're believing for, and with good intention, not the wrong intention. Because of mentioning his name, it might throw you off. But I'm just saying that faith, it doesn't matter what others are thinking of you or what they believe of you. It's you and what it is that you want to shoot for, what you want to go after, what you want to, develop within yourself or develop around that other people are not seeing or believing, but you've had something in your heart, something in your mind that you believe so like, it's like a God thought, a God idea in your life, in your belief, and you like really see it happening. Call it out and go for it. Take steps towards it. And everything is going to be on fire within you. There's going to be challenges. There's going to be frictions. There's going to be people that are going to push back, right? Because they don't see what you see. They don't hear what you hear. They're not going after what you are going after, but you are going after something that others don't see. So just like the new president of the United States saying, I'm making the impossible possible. Well, I believe only through God can you do that. But that's what it takes to move out with action and with faith and action, that despite what anybody else thinks or sees or believes, that if you have the right intention, the best intention for something and for others, not just yourself, but for others, then, with God, all things are possible. And if your intentions are good and they're good for helping other people, then they will come. They will happen. So I believe in your dreams. I believe in my dreams. I believe in me wanting to lead people into a relationship, and a good relationship with God, not in a religious way, but in a spiritual and intimate way. That, I speak the way that I speak. I feel compelled, to speak in a way that speaks to many people from all different walks of life, no matter where you're from, what has taken place in your life, that God is near. And whether you believe in him or not, that he believes in you, that he knows you. And so I'll just keep sharing and keep going through my own challenges and share them with you and hope that they encourage you because I'm sure feeling challenged this month as I step out and really call out, what how I really believe in myself and what do I believe and how am I overcoming the doubts? How am I overcoming the fears? How am I moving action with the faith that I have to step forward in? So that is day 15, aligning thoughts with my actions, overcoming those fears, overcoming the resistance, get up and do it anyways, go for the win, and see that all things are possible for those who believe. Have an amazing day, and we'll see you on day 16.